16th of May is the International Day of Light. 16th of May is also interesting from another point of view. It is the anniversary of SESAME's formal inauguration, which happened in 2017. I think it fits well, very well, in several aspects for the first light source in the Middle East, for the first truly international facility in the region, which was established under the auspices of UNESCO. Since that time, the laboratory has gone from strength to strength, with the user community growing now to 915 scientists today. And the number of experimental proposals was growing with each call, totaling 309 today for the 3 beamlines which SESAME is operating this year. Only 165 proposals could be granted beam time for experiments, which means the beamlines are heavily oversubscribed. And this points to the clear need for a synchrotron light source in that region. As of today, some 83 groups from around the world have been involved with these proposals, including scientists from 12 countries that are not SESAME members. A sure sign of the attractiveness and of the competitiveness of the lab. This would have been even more if COVID-19 had not intervened. But SESAME has fortunately adapted to the situation by developing a mail-in system for the probes to be tested at the experimental stations. New beamlines are steadily coming on stream. 2 will come online next year. And 2003, we expect another one starting to take experimental groups. SESAME is very well integrated into the global research landscape. It is associate member of LEAPS, the League of European Accelerator-Based Photon Sources. Last but not least, very appropriate for a light source, SESAME is powered by light. And finally, I want to send the best wishes for the Science Trust campaign, which is the thrust of the 2021 International Day of Light. And let me say, trust between people is mandatory for our world.
When I travel daily to SESAME, I'm really thrilled by the fact that we have made it so far. I think of the challenges that we have to face and tackle with.
We finally now have in our region this wonderful machine. I mean, we're talking about one of the world's most complex machines.
You can describe a synchrotron as a rather large light bulb. I mean, we produce light, which you cannot produce by other means.
And the aim is that we accelerate electrons.
The electrons are charged, and when a charged particle is accelerated, it begins to radiate.
At this point, they emit the full range of electromagnetic radiation from infrared to X-rays.
The radiation has very unique properties.
And because of that, we can study property of materials which you cannot study with a simple laboratory source. Anything from an isolated atom to a complex system like a human being.
You are allowed to study whatever you want. You just have to design your research in a perfect way that suits the experiment, and that's it.
SESAME started with a large group of countries involved. Many Arabs and Israelis sat together trying to think how they could learn about each other, using science as a tool for understanding, learning about nature, learning about the material world, and trying to understand it better together.
It was a 20 years course of action with many hurdles and ups and downs on the way, but we kept on pushing in order to bring SESAME to become a real center of excellence in science in the region.
We can collaborate. People from all over this region can do this together.
For now, we have the infrared beamline and the X-ray fluorescence beamline. We already had some results on life science, like breast cancer diagnosis. We're working on cultural heritage, archaeology, bioarchaeology. We are studying mummies.
The first ever measurements that were done were on ancient individuals from this very region. We're exploring perhaps craft activity related metal uptake in bones and teeth.
I'm from Palestine, from Najah National University in Nablus.
I'm from Iran.
I'm from Egypt.
I'm from Turkey, from Ankara, Middle East Technical University.
It's not that common in our region that people are breaking lots of rules, and the rules are different in our region. So you have the society rules, you have the gender rules, and SESAME is an entity that is breaking all the rules actually.
For me as a woman and for me as a young student, it allowed me to think.
The best point of SESAME here in this region is that it can gather people from all nations here in this region. This is a very good point of this facility.
In a way, it will make us to compete with the other researchers in the world. So we will not just rely on the benchtop spectrometers, but we will have really valuable data which could eventually be a publication maybe in Nature or Science.
Next steps at SESAME is to see this place full of researchers.
I hope really that soon all this area here will be full with pipes and vacuum pumps and instruments.
So I think we are heading to full operation.
I wanted to grow to become an international scientific center and to do science and produce science here that is published in the most prestigious world-class journals.
My real dream is that the science here will be of very high quality and that people will say, this was discovered at SESAME.